Hello everyone, my name's Angus Rogers. I'm a martial artist in Tangsuro, and I've made many videos over the years, but never quite made a video like this. So apologies for the roughness of the video. I just didn't know how else to make it. So to give you a bit of history to give context to the video. For many years as a child, my parents had foreign exchange students. They would stay with us for a school term, around about 10 months, from about 1986, when my brother was born, to around 1996 or 97, about 10 years of foreign exchange students. And this apparently was a very expensive program for the children that came over from different countries. We had them from America, Mexico, Sweden, Australia, all over the place. But for many years it became so expensive that the only families that would bring their children over on this program was from Japan. So the second Japanese student we had in around 1991 was called Mariko, and she stayed with us, and this was around the time my younger sister was born. I think because of what happened, she formed a connection, especially with the family, obviously, especially with my sister. And then she went to university here in the UK, also worked here, and so she has a dual passport, and her children also have a dual passport. Now, when her first son was born, she said to me that his name was Ryu, and I was like, that's the coolest thing ever, like Ryu and Ken. And she didn't know this reference, even though Street Fighters from Japan, it's obviously Mr. Bite. And then when she had a second child, she called him Ken. Now, I don't know if I had any direct influence on this, it's just a happy coincidence, let's say. And the boys would come over often in the summer to visit myself, but usually, my family, and I would have interaction with them, but it was only for a couple of hours when they were visiting, because they go off and visit somewhere else. Now, cut to this year, my mother tells me that the two boys, they're now 16 and 12, are coming over for 2 weeks on their own. I'm like, that's out of the blue and unexpected. Great. And they were like, they'd like to do some martial arts with you. And over the years, they kind of sent me some videos of them, pretend to be Spider-Man. We had that in common. And Mariko probably showed them videos of me doing martial arts, and especially me dressing up as Spider-Man as other characters, all the silly videos I've done in the past. Now, I didn't quite understand this or realize what was going on, but I was like, sure, they can come over and do martial arts, that's fine. They came over and I started to document their journey, mainly in photographs and a little bit of footage to send back to their mum to show them the kind of time they had. And this video is all about their journey from Monday the first week to Thursday the following week, so 11 days. And this film is about their journey. Now, I didn't film everything, and there were bits missing, and certain bits there's more footage than others, but I tried to do a decent job of following their martial art journey. So I'm going to start the footage and just talk over it. I don't know if you're going to enjoy this or not, but I thought it was worth documenting. The weekend before, I'd actually been away. Can't remember where I was now, but I had come back Sunday and I didn't really know what was happening with the boys. They arrived Sunday and they were at my parents on Monday. Now, I was expecting to see them in the evening, and I remember ringing my mum to see how they were, and she said, the boys are really bored. Can you come over and show them the dojan? So I was like, okay, I'll come get them now. But I was like, okay, I'll go get the boys. So I picked them up and brought them over to the dojan, showed them around. My mum really wanted them to have suits. I tried them on with some suits. And then we go into the room and I'm like, well, if they're going to train tonight, I should show them like the 3 kicks. So this footage now is just me just putting it on the camera randomly, kind of going, let's just see how the boys do. And then we're doing snap kick, roundhouse and side kick. They've never done martial arts before. I need to make this very clear. Ken is very flexible naturally, and Ryu is very active. He does a lot of gymnastics. He's very, very fit for his age. And so I'm showing him snap kick and side kick. And you can see that this is the first time they've ever done this. And it's not great. It's not really together. I'm correcting them. but they keep trying. They don't give up. Both boys have a determination, but I would say it's rare. And then that evening, I just thought, oh, it was great that they trained with everyone. So I didn't take any video footage, because I don't want to put any pressure on them. I just took photos. I was like, I got a bit of footage from the day. They learned snap kick, roundhouse side kick. This is great. Came to class. They hung out with everyone, but they got on really well with all the classes. So this was over the summer holidays. We had these day classes for kids. Now, even though Ryu was 16, he can just fit in. It'll be okay. So I bring them into this fun class, but we're also working on grading things. One of the things I do in this class is I try and have lots of fun games for the kids, punching, and they're doing everything really, really well. Their fundamentals are great. And then we get on to the fun bit, which is like a side kick against the wall, and they're going for it really well. So then we try a wall kick, and I go, oh, they'll be alright, I guess. We'll see how we get on. And they first time to second time is incredible. Then we play a dodgeball. They follow the rules perfectly. Their English is insanely good, by the way. I should say this. There was a kids class in the day, and this is the kids class in the afternoon. And again, I don't film every single thing because I'm just at this time I'm still going on. The boys seem to be enjoying it, but they're getting a real flavour of the classes. That's what I was thinking. Again, they follow direction really well. They're already doing jump kicks and combinations, stuff that is way more advanced than someone who's really only been training less than 24 hours. And they pick up sort of these new concepts that we're kind of introducing, like the grappling. They were really up for anything. And again, it was just quite incredible how much they did and how much they worked hard. That evening on the Tuesday, we had a little bit of a problem because there was a beginner class, but then it was 7 till 8:30 is the senior class. At 6 o'clock, they went and trained with Julie. We were like, oh, they'll do the first hour of the senior class. We'll make it so they can join in. Just because I wanted my students to meet them and train with them. Again, so many students, so they won't get a chance. So we thought we'd do the first hour. And again, really now at this point, I'm going well, let's chuck them in the deep end. I wouldn't have asked them to come if they weren't doing well. But they just go in for everything. They don't complain about anything. They don't say anything's too hard. And they're doing advanced combos. And what's interesting is the way they hold pads, the way they work with people. They've got the etiquette and the sort of way we do things straight away. And they're really thinking about the techniques, and again, their technique isn't crisp or solid, but they have a go, and it's just amazing to watch their confidence. On day 3, we have an adult morning class, and they did the morning class. I honestly now can't remember what we did in this morning class, but they did really well. And then I have a whole hour with them, just me and the boys again. And this is where I go, well, let's see what these boys can do. I was going to try and push them as far as they could. So we start off with a little game of how many roundhouses can you do on one leg. This often tells me a lot about students, and I wanted to fix their roundhouse. So as you can see, I'm fixing Ken roundhouse, and they're both kicking towards the head. Ken can do it because he's very flexible, and Ryu can do it, he's got excellent balance. So we do one kick and then we do 2 kicks, and already you can see Ken's technique, Ryu's technique improve. This is a drill I do with a lot of people to help them with their roundhouse. Again, I expect them to get to 3, maybe 4 roundhouses, keeping their hands in. Basically every time they kick, their technique improves. And I'm just watching in amazement, because I'm just I really don't get how good they're doing it. But here I think Ken's going to fall soon. He just gets back up and gives it another go. And he just pops back up and he's I'm down for it. So this is 5, 6 rounders, and these guys have never done this drill before. It's not like they've had a couple of goes. They're literally watching it and then doing it. So now we get on to power kicks. So going to the other studio because I got the lighter ones, basically because I know Ryu's going to be more powerful than Ken. I want Ken to be able to do it as well, so I use the Samurai Sam. Stepping side kick is quite a nuanced technique that some people don't get, and already they're getting it sort of straight away. And I'm putting these things up and then knocking them down, so I'm getting heavier and heavier things, seeing what can throw them, and then their technique is just flawless. So then we go back into Studio 1. I'm like, right, let's see what these boys can really do. So I have this thing called pop kicks. See how many pop kicks they can do. So I explain the principles of lifting your knee, and look at Ken go. He's just leaping. So that's a jump snap kick, rudimentary. This is I show this 6 months, 9 months in, and they are doing it. Again, it's not great, especially Ryu's technique. He reminds me of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, someone you can tell who hasn't trained all his life because there's a little bit of stiffness and awkwardness in there. But look at that, it's just head kick after head kick, and no fear, we got out to in now. You know, there's little things like heads down and things like that, but look at that, in to out, just incredible. And both boys, it's not just one gets it, both boys do it, and they both got like a very different approach. So now we're on to jump spinning kicks, like jump back kick, absolutely insane. And the idea is they're just going for it. So this is the first time the boys have done like a spinning hook kick. Again, I don't show this till at least 3 to 6 months in, and now they're doing jump back spinning hook kick, which is like a kick you do it 2 years in. Jump back spinning into out, yes, see, and they've got it. So now we're doing 360 kicks. I'm showing them the principle. It's hard to tell in these videos because you don't know how much I've cut this. We only have an hour, so all the footage you're seeing now is in an hour space between the first morning class, and then I've got a private with Daniel later. And look at that, it's like the first time, bit ropey, second time, got it. And same with Ken. He's actually doing 2 kicks. So now he lands at 360 rounders, which is incredibly advanced. And now, what are we doing now? We're doing jumping forward, 360 hook kicks. And this is the first time these boys have ever seen these techniques. Again, they're a bit ropey, they're not polished, but I'm just like, they might never get to do this again. So like, why not show them everything I can in this? It's like this crazy experiment we're doing. So then we're doing the flying side kick. Again, this is all in an hour, and they're jumping over the pad, which again takes a lot of confidence to do this, and they have no fear whatsoever. And as they're going over, especially right, his technique's improving, like he's chambering his leg there. The fact that Ken is keeping up with his brother is crazy. I think it's just Ken now. What are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7 pads. Boom. And Ken did 7 pads as well, which is ridiculous. So cut to my session with Daniel. Now with Daniel, we've been short staffed because he's at green tag, and again, never usually show a weapon to a beginner. I usually wait at least a year to a year and a half before they come. But again, I wanted to give the boys a full TSD experience. Again, and it was wonderful for Daniel to have training partners. Like usually it's just me and him, and the boys picked up the 6 twirls. I don't know, I want to say like within 10 minutes they picked them up. Just like, look at them twirl. You'd think they've been twirling all their life. They never even held it. Like as far as I know, they've never held a staff before. So I'm like, come on Dan, let's do something new. Because again, I'm testing these boys out with what they do. Sorry about the camera angles, I was just chucking it down because I was really, really shocked. So these are like bomb 1 steps that I show brown belt. So even Daniel had never done this before. So me and Daniel partnered together. Ken and Ray were partnered together so well, and especially for siblings. And then we get onto the short stick. It's taken me ages for Dan to work. And this is the thing that I can't get over with the boys at all. It's like how patient and good they are with Dan. Like you think this is their first go sparring. Put the gear on them. I give him some things. Ken's got a bit of sass about him, but the boys they're just so well behaved. It's like I'm not even watching them, and they're working really hard. We change. I put Ryu with Dan, and again the fact that Dan's willing to spar with him. Look, Ken catches my leg. Just like, I've never taught him that. Look how slow and calm and controlled he is with him. It's crazy. I said I'm still sparring with Ken, and now I'm sparring with Ryu, so Ken must be with Dan. And you know, look, moving around, bouncing. All this stuff is very advanced for people who haven't trained. This is still Wednesday, and this is when we came back from, I think we got some dinner. I think we got some dinner at Pizzarante actually, there might be some photos. And again, it's a challenge. My friend gave me a headstand to a handstand. I'm not very good at it, but the boys are giving it a go. And it's really funny now, Ray just copies me to go over, dogs there, distracted. But, you know, I told the boys you can chill out if you want, because we were just hanging about. And then again they came to the senior class, and this time, you know, they didn't just do the full hour. I told my mum like they can do the whole, you know, 2 hour, I think it's a 2.5 hour class actually, because the boys are so good. And by the way, they're helping out with the Tiny Tiger classes as well, I must say this. So this is the weapons class, this is advanced stuff. My students are learning this for the first time as well, and Ken and Ray were doing it, you know, just as good as everyone else, working together, and big smiles on their face. just loving it, and really, having fun and giving it a go. We're doing a bit of stick fighting here, which is incredibly advanced. And then this is the first time the boys stayed over at the house. I set up the cinema. I think we watched The Matrix, and then we played some games. So we're on day 4 now, Thursday, and this is where I start thinking that these boys can do anything, just absolutely anything. I like to go through the staff twirling with Dan at the start of the session before we get into it. But again, the boys look even more polished. I mean, I know this stuff is sped up, but I'm basically concentrating on Dan now. I know that I'm showing the boys, so I'm just letting the boys get on with it and just do it, as I can give all my concentration to Dan now. So this is another thing that's impressive about the boys, is their independent work. Is that, like, at no time are they losing concentration, at no time do they want to do anything else. They just want to train. And bearing in mind, they've gone from zero to training like 4 to 6 hours a day. That's unbelievable as well. By the way, I correct Ryu on keeping his legs together. Does it straight away, and Ken does it. They just take direction so quick and so fast. It's kind of insane when you think of like all the little bad habits you have to help students fix over time. Again, I was constantly pushing the boys. So here I'm showing Dan a brand new twirl he's never done before, called the helicopter. So we learned the basic 6 last week. This is the next twirl. Again, never done this with Dan before, but they're having a go. And the boys are just whipping it, just so good. And then, again, see how enthusiastic Ken is? Crazy enthusiasm. Just, I love the way he dips his head. He's a little bit more patient, taking the side slowly. Ken's a wild man, just like back and forth. Like little bow. I'm concentrating on Dan, not really looking at him. And then his helper comes in to train with us as well. It's infectious, everyone wants to train. So Dan's got a training plan, and I love this shot because you just see Ryu and Ken just getting on with it in the background. And look how smooth he is. Again, 3 days ago they couldn't do anything, and now they're really smooth. They're doing the same drill. And now Ryu's a teacher. He learned it yesterday, and he's teaching. So now we're doing a very difficult thing called the Hubert. This is advanced stuff, and just beautifully gentle. Now we're into the Thursday Family Samurai's class. There's a little bit of a snippet there, and now they're helping out with what we call the ASD autism class, and the boys have earned tags, and they're already teaching. So Ryu then was teaching the green tag. He already helped Rowan get his tag, and Ken was helping out a little girl called Isabel on a yellow tag. So not only have they learned this stuff, they've become teachers within days, within hours really, of their training, which is incredible. They go and train with Haroon for the open belt class. I don't let them into the red belt class because my seniors need to do the training. We wouldn't be able to do it, so they just train with Haroon that night. Again, I don't have any footage of that, but again, he said they did really, really well, and he was impressed with them. So day 5 is one of our shortest days. This is where we have like a mixed class, just a one-off class, and we're just doing a fun warm-up, and then Ryu starts doing these double skips, and again, I can't do those double skips like that. It's insane. Again, what I'm doing is I'm trying to push the boys now. I'm like, look, what can you do? Can you do, like, this is a combination where we do a normal kick, a 2-step kick, and a pop kick. It's kind of like an exercise I reserve for green belts and above. And again, you can see him in the background. I'm working with Jojo, and then this crazy idea comes into my head. We had dinner Friday night. I talked to the boys. I asked them about anything they want to learn now. I'll teach them because they're so good. Ryu talks about this. He doesn't call it a 540 roundhouse, but he's like, there's this kick he's seen online, and he says it's very famous, and he wants to learn how to do it. And I was like, man, you're talking about the 540 roundhouse. This took me about 8 years to learn, because I was teaching myself. I reckon I can teach you, and maybe even your brother, because he's younger. I reckon maybe I can teach you this in about 10 minutes. So day 6, I can't remember if I had any privates that day, but I don't have any classes, and Julie's working, so I pretty much got all day with the boys. Oh, they're going off to do something later, but I got the morning with the boys. So we go up to the gym, and I'm like, right, we'll do a little warm-up, and then we'll work on this 540 kick. So I documented this quite well. This didn't take hours. This is literally me cutting it as quick as it can. So this is me teaching someone 540 roundhouse after 5 days of training, which is just insane. And again, I wouldn't normally do this because it would be too much for them. But the boys had an attitude and an ability to learn that I hadn't seen. And plus I had this opportunity with them that I was training with them every day. I knew exactly what they did know and didn't know, and what could handle and what they couldn't handle. At this moment, I haven't really found the limit on what they can do. Again, obviously Ken's going to find it harder because he's small, he doesn't have the natural muscle mass and ability. But they're both having a go, and at no point do they say the words, I can't do that. At no point do they say, this is too hard, I can't do it. They just keep trying. So again, that kick we just did then is called a planner. It's where you jump up, kick, and land on the same leg. So Ray just smashed that. And now Ken hasn't got, he falls, but if he just had the strength to land on that one leg, see, he hasn't got quite the strength in his leg to land on it, but he's doing it. So now we're on to the spinning bit. So bearing in mind, they only learned the 360 kick on Wednesday, and now they're doing this 540 kick with, you know, so only maybe like one or two of my black belts can do. I've never really taught it to any one of my students. You know, some of my black belts have just picked it up watching me. But this took me so long, and again, the very difficult instructions, especially Ryu now, his concentration level is unbelievable. So I'm showing him the mechanics of it, and look at that, he does it. So again, like straight away, I don't think he's going to get this, but I'm like, he does. And then I show him a target and how to cut it, and he did it first time. It's insane. Like, it's just insane how, look at that. This video is, I've cut it down to as short as it could be, but it was 10, 15, 20 minutes maximum time, because I'm recording on the GoPro, the whole thing. You know, I'm like, this is it. This is a 540. You did it. You did this kick that's insanely difficult in 10 minutes. Wonderful. And then I have to have a go, don't I? And then he shows me this kick, which is like a B-twist, which I can't even do. I get this crazy idea to do a fight scene with them, because I'm like, I want them to have something to take back with them, something that would make the trip truly unique. So I think we'd watched the Street Fighter film maybe Friday night. Yeah, the Street Fighter animated film we watched Friday night. Because I was like, your name's Ken and Ryu, you haven't even seen the film you're based on. So we're working on this fight scene where the boys fight me. You know, I'm just looking at what they can do, what their strengths are. It's so funny because Ryu's in jeans as well, he's doing all this in jeans. It's like, okay, amazing. Ryu can do a backflip. It's insane that he can do this backflip, boom. Now on Sunday I have to actually put something together, write down loads and loads of stuff, like what we can do, what we can homage, what can the boys do, what can they handle. So we start off, we go for this nice sort of 5k run. Ryu's a runner, so he's pretty good. Ken, not so much experience with running, and it's so lovely just like running with the dog across the canal. And you know, every once in a while we stop for Ken, but there's a really nice image now of the boys running with the dog. Nice sunny day, just wonderful to do this. And Ryu's wearing the headband, it's really cool. Find this, he jumps through it. You know, it's just wonderful hanging out. The boys are getting comfortable with me, and we're just rocking out. So this is the Sunday now. We're just doing chin-ups. He's really strong. I think he does like 10 chin-ups here. He is super strong for his age, and again, no fear. So we start doing this fight scene, and I film it in a really weird way. I film the first interaction and the last interaction. So in my head I've got this idea of like, well, I know how it starts, I know how it finishes, and then I've got this huge list of shots basically and sequences, and then we just keep ticking them off and going, right, well, let's put this here. And the basic storyline of it was like, I would win for the first half when the boys try and fight me separately, and then they would win when they started working together. And this scene here, if you notice, I just knocked down Ken with the punch. Me and Ryu have this little interaction, and then my brain just goes like, ooh, a clever thing. And this is like total, like, you know, Three Ninjas stuff where the little kid would bounce down so they could knock him down. So I show it to the boys, and again, they're on board with everything. Again, they've never, as far as I know, they've never acted before. They've never done fight scenes. I mean, I know really, really good martial artists who are amazing martial artists who can't do choreographed fight scenes. It's like a completely different skill. These boys are just hitting their marks, moving. You know, I'm super worried about hurting them. So in this practice, because this is the first time we've gone through it, and again, you might think like we spent hours on this. We did spend a bit of time, but not as long as you'd think. Like maybe an hour or two we were there in total, and not all of that was fighting. So again, I kept trying to keep the boys safe with the thing. But look at this, he does a triple snap kick, and that's the Matrix reference, because we watched the Matrix. It was really cool that it got Ken to sort of show off his flexibility, because for his age he's very flexible, and I got Ray to show off his athleticism. So here we go. This is obviously another practice because I only had the GoPro. Boom, almost drop him on the floor. Again, trying to concentrate on so many things, like knowing where the boys are and they're okay. And then this is all no cuts or anything. This is just them doing it. So I'm like, it's gonna work together. So this is the whole fight worked out in the first day in a one. Again, the fact that the boys knew to stand up, I didn't forget. I mean, I'm sort of talking them through of like what they have to do and where their foot needs to be and everything, but still, like I teach so often, and so many times I gotta tell someone 3 times do something simple like keep your hands up. And these boys, they're pros in a way that I'm not used to at all. And these sequences and everything, these boys learn all these sequences either the day before or today, because we only did a little bit yesterday. The idea was I was going to train until they got picked up, and this is the bit from the other day. It's still rough, still ropey, but the fact that the boys could do all this in one take, and how long it was and how complicated it was. And the thing I've got to point out as well is the most complicated thing I'd ever done. I'd done fight scenes before, but I hadn't really done a 2-on-1 fight like this, like so complex with so many complicated bits and kicks. Working with people who had only learned martial arts 5 days before, I mean, that seems insane. Now even me watching do the backflip, boom, never get tired of that. I'm just like, that's going to look so good. And again, we were talking about it, like they had to hit these marks to get to these places for these beats to work. And again, this is the thing that took some time, but the bare bones of the whole sequence are there. Look at Ray running around, ready to be in the right place. Kicks me, boom, and the B twist will be there, and they go back, and then they do the dog only just comes in. It's hilarious, and then he hits me. Fantastic, absolutely. Still really impressive to watch now. So at the end, I was like, we should get some kick picks. So I would kick towards the boys, and look at their expressions, like they're real pros at this, they haven't done it before. Yeah, I just wanted them to have some nice pictures. Again, I wanted them to have a full experience of what do. Ken holding his leg out. I was like, you don't have to do that. I can just freeze it. But he wanted to be like me. He wanted to hold his leg out, which is hilarious. And I was like, man, we got to see your face as I kick you. Otherwise, it could be anyone. We do this flying sidekick thing. My flying sidekick is pretty terrible, but this is, again, we're just having so much fun. Like the boys loved all this. They seem to love all the things that I loved. The plan going forward, because I talked to my friend Mike, who I've done a million of these videos with before, and I'm like, Mike, I need you to film it, because if I'm in it, I need someone else to be on the camera. So Mike's like, cool. I'm like, do you have a free day? And just so Mike's super busy. He just happened to have that week off. Boom, what a coincidence. And he said Thursday. I said Thursday's the best day because I can work with the boys the most. So now I get a little bit selfish. I'm basically working in the class on things they need to do for the fight scene, which is fine because all the other students can benefit from this. But I'm like, we're just going to drill stuff to help you out with this. So this is Tuesday morning in the Morning Valley Samurais class, which would have been the last one of the summer. Where I'm trying to help them with like turning their hips over and put a bit of power into their shots. This is a nice little break fall exercise to help my students learn how to fall, do a bit of the wrestling that they've done before, and they'd already pretty much learned it, which is great. And again, luckily there was a lad that was like Ryu's size that could go with him. And then they do this like split kick thing, which is really hard. So they do a side kick first, and then they're doing like a side kick and a Superman punch. So difficult. Look at that, Ken. Amazing. Just incredible. And it was just all about this. This jump snap kick was to help Ken, because he's going to do this big jump snap kick in a fight, and I want to see how high he could kick. So again, he's having a little think, and then he's popping up, boom, and just, wow, insane. I think raising off a front leg was even more difficult. And I'm just like, he kicks now, Ken, and I'm just like, this is the kick. Boom, look at that. I was like, do it like that in the fight. That's amazing. Coming up to my head. Wow. Now you're even higher. Wow. So good. And the roundhouse as well. I want the boys to be able to kick as high as they could. This is a little drill I do with the students to help them, like, realize in their own minds how high they can kick. Because it's like, I'm taller than you boys need to, in order for it to look convincing, you got to kick really high. So Ken just gives everything into every shot. Wow, look at that. Boom. On day 10, it was another Wednesday morning class, and again, I was trying to help the boys with combination kicking and basic fundamentals of keeping the guard up and keeping your leg up with good balance. And as you can see from here, how much the technique has changed from the first week to the second week, much more confident and much more natural. And then with our hour break, I gave him a little present. I gave him some nunchaku because when I was a kid I loved it, and we learned some very basic nunchaku. We didn't have much time between the sessions, but just a little bit of fun and a good little present to take home with them. This is us watching the rest of Karate Kid. That's what we were doing. We were watching the rest of Karate Kid while we were waiting with their session. So here's the boys with Daniel, and it was a great experience, wanted to capture it. And then we went over to do Daniel's session, and again I was trying to use the boys to bring out the best in Daniel. We do these exercises that we did the week before. We'll try and do as many kicks without falling, and as you can see, not only are Ryu and Ken improving with their technique and balance, but so is Daniel. And here you see one of the hardest standing kicks to do in Tang Soo Do, the diagonal kick, a kick that took me decades to get to a point where I was happy with it, and they just smashed it. And now my mum's on their way to pick them up, to take them out for the day, but I show them the split kick, one of the hardest kicks in all of Tang Soo Do, and the way that they get it after one or two attempts is crazy. And I am literally just waiting for my mum to show up, and so I go, well, you could try this triple kick that I loved as a kid, where you do a side kick, a diagonal kick, and a roundhouse. And it's one of the kicks that really built up to. This video now shows that Ryu literally has just watched me do it. He goes through the fundamentals of the mechanics of it, and then this is his first attempt. Absolutely unbelievable. He just did it then without a run up, pretty much. He's doing it there. He runs up now. And then the pads are a little bit too far away for Ken, because he's smaller. So he falls, but he also kicks over the pad. I should have used a stronger thing to kick against, but again, I did it really quickly. And it's my mum, I'm just screaming at her, come in and watch this. Watch what these boys can do. Went over my parents for a little family photo. This is day 11, the final day with the boys, and again we had a morning class, and then we had a session with Daniel, and then afterwards we were going to film the fight scene we've been working on. So we're just doing a little bit of fun here. These are some trapping hands, actually one of the first things I did with Daniel, and here's some outtakes from the fight scene. I put gloves on the boys because they were a bit worried about hitting me, and I told them don't be worried about it. So here's some fun little outtakes of it, as it mostly went right, but here's some bits where it went wrong, and I'm quite tired at this point because I'm not used to fighting like this. But there's the kick he did, which is crazy, so good, and the boys have absolutely shined. Even from the Sunday to the Thursday is way better. One of my favourite one takes that was where you could just watch this flip forever, and they've got the look and all the actions there. Again, when I show people this video, they thought there was there was CGI involved, but not for their stunts. Having a bit of a laugh here with Mike. He was getting the best out of them. They took direction so well. Again, I thought this fight scene would take a lot longer, and we filmed it all in under an hour, which was really great that they got it. And again, just including some of this footage to see how many times they did it right, and one of the things that's a problem with editing is you don't have enough footage, and with this we had more than enough footage. It was trying to take the best bits that we could, and this sequence is fantastic, how it's all put together. And there's a very, very tired me towards the end, just trying to give everything to it because I want it to be as good as possible, and just falling about, having a bit of fun. So this was a great day, and again, what I wanted, a great combination of the week. So the boys had something, I love this bit where they go to slap each other and they miss. So all the great things they do, but they couldn't even clap hands.
Right, so last 2 weeks, these boys have trained for 5-6 hours every day. Mike's just filmed them. He just made an awesome video. These boys are superstars. How are you feeling, boys? Yeah. Yeah?
This is the evening now where I just went, you know what, they can come in for the whole red belt class. They did the first hour with Haroon, and they came in for the last minute. This is called the Corridor of Death. It's kind of a little tradition we have where people get to show their skills, and they've learned all these moves, and now they get to apply them in a semi-realistic situation where someone throws a punch, and look, they're doing the passing and trapping, and everything they'd learned they were able to apply now on these senior students, which was wonderful. So it was great to bring them in, because some of my senior students like Dan and everyone else hadn't got to train with them, so it was like, because it was their last class, we just thought, oh, come on in, we can have a bit of fun here to work it. And here's the low block that they've been working on, and absolutely wonderful how they can respond and react. And Haroon's smiling here because he's literally just taught them these things, and now they're putting them into practice against people. And again, this low block technique is something we were working on all this week, so the fact that they applied it there, and then we had a little bit of fun with the flying side kicks, so you get like a snap and the forward rolls. So these are all games that I loved playing as a kid and wanted to share in it. And then this very nice, we got to award them with what we call the black tag, which basically says if they had stayed, they would be ready to grade. And they went back to Japan the next day. I just wonder what it would have been like if they'd stayed. How good would they be after a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year? Crazy. Absolute honour to. I knew the boys, but I didn't know them well like this. So wonderful experience there that truly will treasure forever. And I hope this video is a nice little memory of not only their trip, but just how incredible impact they had on me and my students and everyone else. And they're always welcome back anytime. And I would love to go to Japan and train with the boys out there. I hope they find a martial arts club out there that they can carry on, because they really do have a natural talent for this. Thank you for watching and indulging me. I hope you got some enjoyment out of it.